Welcome back to Neighborhood Journal, Hudson News Edition. The widening of the Panama Canal, due for completion in 2015, means super cargo vessels will have faster access to ports on the eastern seaboard of the United States. In order for these larger vessels to reach ports Newark and Elizabeth, the road surface of the Bayonne Bridge must be raised up and the Kilvan Coe must be deepened, or these local ports will lose out to other ports, such as Norfolk, Virginia, or those in Canada. This would threaten thousands of longshoreman jobs and countless dollars of commerce. While the deepening of the Kill has begun and the conditional construction contract for the raising of the bridge has been issued, questions remain. Joining me to discuss this is Amy Goldsmith, the chairperson of the Coalition for Healthy Ports. Ms. Goldsmith, thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Pleasure.
I understand that on Friday of last week, something was potentially going to happen with regard to this issue. Did that happen, and what was being considered?
Okay, well, what happened didn't happen, and we think in part it's because of the pressure of my organization, the Coalition for Healthy Ports. The U.S. Coast Guard was going to release something called the FONSI, which is the finding of no significant impact. And that finding would have said, there's no concerns about the environment with the raising of the bridge, let's move ahead.
Okay, before we continue, let's let our audience know, is the coalition opposed to the raising of the bridge in order to allow these larger cargo vessels to reach these ports, or do you support the raising?
We support the raising of the bridge, and we support growth at the port. It is the largest economic engine for the region, and it has a potential for providing both good jobs and clean air. We want to make sure that we get both of those things for the communities in the port region.
So what is then the coalition's main concern with this entire process?
Again, it's the issue of clean air and good jobs. Right now, the port expansion doesn't really have enough provisions in it to clean up primarily the dirty trucks, but also the ships that come into the port. We want them to be cold ironed, which means they hook up to an electric outlet rather than running their dirty diesel. And we want the dirty trucks on the roads to be clean trucks like Los Angeles and other ports are doing.
So then at this point, what does the coalition specifically, what steps do they specifically want to see done in order to reach those objectives?
Well, right now the Port Authority has a so-called Clean Trucks program, which is not really cleaning up the trucks. Maybe about 200 of them, but there's 7,000 on the road, and they're talking about doubling the capacity at the port. So that means we potentially could have 14,000 trucks every single day in and out of the port. That affects Jersey City, Bayonne, Staten Island for the downwind communities, but it also means that these trucks are going on our local roads, and we're going to have more volume, more traffic, more diesel pollution, more asthma rates, more cancer rates. There are solutions, technological solutions to this, and we want to see them in place.
If that were not to happen, you support the raising of the bridge now, but if those things don't happen, is there a possibility then that the coalition's support of the raising of the bridge could change, which would then prevent these vessels from getting to ports Newark and Elizabeth?
Mm-hmm. We support the raising of the bridge. We want to see the mitigation measures. So we want them to be enforceable mitigation measures in the permit, and so that's what we're going to fight for. We're not fighting to stop the bridge. What we're fighting for is clean air.
So what's the next step then? Is it this Coast Guard documentation that was supposed to have potentially happened Friday, which didn't happen?
Right. Well, there's first the FONSI, which says there's no environmental consequences. That's one document. Then there's also something coming out, which is a memorandum of agreement, which actually isn't required by law, but we feel the Coast Guard and the Port Authority more particularly and the New Jersey DEP are creating this agreement to try and please us. We've seen the document and it really doesn't say anything new. It just lists the things they're already doing, and it's not going to get us any further ahead. So if they're trying to please us, they're not going to do it with this memorandum of agreement. And by the end of the month, there'll be a permit that they will issue that allow the construction to move forward. And as you mentioned, they've already issued the conditional contract for the construction.
Right. Well, it sounds like this is a very important issue, both from an economic standpoint and environmental standpoint. I'm sure it's something that your coalition will continue to monitor as the days and weeks and months and years go by till the end of that widening of the Panama Canal.
Right.
Thank you for being here.
Sure.
One other thing you had to say?
Just one more thing I wanted to say is that what's very important is that we protect the public health. By protecting the public health, it'll cost less dollars for our communities, less dollars for charity care. That's what's really important to us as well.
Well, Ms. Goldsmith, thank you for being here. I appreciate you discussing this issue with us.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
Okay. And to learn more about this issue, you can visit cleanwateraction.org/NJEF. And we'll have more of Neighborhood Journal Hudson News Edition following this break. Please stay with us.